Hello fellow Total War soldiers, here is WanSaweR and welcome in this video. Today we will be talking about very interesting topic, especially when it comes to the Warhammer games. Now, as you know, when it comes to the Warhammer games, especially, Total War Warhammer, there was always this, discussion, these controversial topics like, that Total War Warhammer is bad, that Total War Warhammer ruined, you know, Total War, something like that, Warhammer, fantasy and, historical cannot be together, that they cannot coexist, something like that, There have been many of such discussions in the past couple of years. Let's say such discussions existed since 2016 when Warhammer 1 was released. And, in this video, however, I will not be talking about such, topics because I think that Warhammer games are great. Okay, I don't think that Total War Warhammer ruined Total War. Okay, it's bullshit. Okay, it's literal bullshit. Let's be honest here. I think that Warhammer games are great. They are a great addition to the franchise. To the Total War. And I believe that both historical and fantasy can coexist without an issue. Because I believe that, you know, I believe that if, Lord of the Rings Total War was suddenly released, I believe that all those people who criticize Warhammer and criticize fantasy would immediately, without a doubt, play, Lord of the Rings Total War without an issue. Okay? So that's why I think that, saying that Warhammer ruined, so, they ruined Total War is basically stupid, okay? It's bullshit idea. Let's be real here. Now, in this video, however, I will be talking about something different, and it is, expense, and, it is, how can I say this? Expensiveness of the Total War Warhammer games. They are very expensive, okay, for players. Now imagine, the scenario where I know there are coming some new players who won't try the Total War Warhammer 3. Okay, because Total War Warhammer 3 is the newest of all those games, okay? And imagine that if they want to have a full Warhammer experience, they need to, purchase all of three Warhammer games. Because as you know, if you want to play Warhammer 3 Immortal campaign, not the Realm of Chaos, but Immortal campaign, you need to have also Warhammer 1 and Warhammer 2 as well, because you need to play as all those factions. If you want to play as Empire, if you want to play as Bretonia, you need to, of course, have Total War Warhammer 1. If you want to play, as Tomb Kings, you definitely need to buy the DLC. What was the name of the DLC? Um, yeah, Rise of the Tomb Kings. So yeah, basically the problem is with Warhammer that if you wanna have full experience with Total Warhammer 3, you need to purchase Warhammer 3, Warhammer 2, Warhammer 1, plus all of those DLCs here. And this is problem, okay? It is too expensive because imagine new players coming here, new players who want to try Warhammer, yeah, like Warhammer 3. They need to purchase Warhammer 1, Warhammer 2, plus all those freaking DLCs, okay? And all this is very expensive. For example, Warhammer 3, this game costs 60 euros, okay? In the US, it will be something like $60. In the UK, probably 60 pounds. You get it. Now, imagine that Warhammer 1 and Warhammer 2, those two games also cost 60 euros. Which means that if you if let's say new player wants to have the full Warhammer experience, they need to purchase, all free Warhammer games, which means that it will cost them 180 euros or $180 or pounds, okay? Basically, all those new players, they need to pay nearly 200 euros for all free Warhammer games. Basically, the situation is that all those new players, they are forced to wait for summer sales or winter sales when all those games will be cheaper. That's the problematic, okay, here. Because let's be honest, paying 180 euros, that's a lot of money, as we all know. Plus, purchasing all of those DLCs is even worse. Because imagine that, you are paying 180 euros for all the free Warhammer games, plus all those DLCs, which is plus 319, 22, that's 500 euros. 500 euros, dollars, or pounds for all of these DLCs plus all free Warhammer games. 500 euros. That's a lot of money. Let's be honest, new players, they don't have a chance, okay, to purchase all of this. They need to wait, they have to wait for summer sales. But even with summer sales, all of those DLCs plus free games, all free games, Warhammer 1, Warhammer 2, and Warhammer 3, all this together, even during summer sales, will cost more than 100 euros. Which means that players are still forced to pay a lot of money, even during summer or winter sales, and that's a lot. This is not a good policy, okay? Look, I know that Warhammer games are great. I really enjoy Warhammer games, okay? Especially Warhammer 2 and Warhammer 3. I believe that those games are great, and those games are making CA a lot of money. But those games are really expensive together with all those DLCs for new players. New players simply cannot afford this. They cannot afford to have a full experience. They need to wait for summer or winter sales, and even then they still need to pay more than 100 euros or dollars or pounds. You get it for this full experience when there is a sale. This is the problem. Okay, it costs a lot of money. It is too expensive. This is the problem. You see, this is, in my opinion, the biggest problem with Warhammer franchise. Okay, not let's say Warhammer franchise. Let's say with all three Warhammer games. Okay, and not just with Warhammer games. It is the problem of course with other Total War games, like like Pixel Apollo made a video where you are paying 60 euros or $60 for ROM 2. Is the same thing, paying so much money for the game which came in 2013. That's a lot of money. And imagine that Warhammer 1, this game was released, back in 2016, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, exactly, 2016, and still you are paying 60 euros, just like ROM 2. For such an old game and all those DLCs, you are paying so much money. And then, of course, Warhammer 2, another 60 euros with all those freaking DLCs. And of course, Warhammer 3 and all of those DLCs. Again, you are paying so much money. So, Pixel Apollo was right when he made a video about, ROM 2, that this game, is costing 60 euros. And plus, imagine all of those, DLCs. This is the problem with CA, that you know Creative Assembly, they are asking for a lot of money from the player base, and then especially when it comes to the Warhammer games, because if you wanna have full Warhammer experience, you need to purchase Warhammer 1, 2, and 3 plus all those DLCs. That's good. That's to get the 500 euros. And as I mentioned before, even if there is summer sale or winter sale, it is still more than 100 euros or dollars or pounds. It's still a lot of money. And that's the problem. You see, many people who complain about Warhammer, they complain because they don't like Warhammer, because they believe that Warhammer ruined Total War, but it is not the case. Okay, I don't think that Warhammer ruined Total War. I think that the Total War Warhammer is great addition to the franchise, just like Rome 2 or Attila, or Medieval 2. But the problem is as you can see, expensiveness. Basically, they are too expensive. Those free games together with all those DLCs are too expensive for the players, especially for the new players. So here is the thing: how to change it, how to make it better. Well, there is a simple solution here. Look at other competition like grand strategy games like EU4 from Paradox. Now notice that this game costs 50 euros. It's already cheaper than, let's say, Warhammer 3. It's already cheaper than buying all those free games for 180 euros. And yes, you might say that they also got a lot of DLCs. However, here is the thing: you don't need to purchase all of those DLCs. Why? Because here they got subscription. They got subscription, which means that if you are paying, let's say, 8 euros per month, or 15 per 3 months, you are getting all of this content. You are getting dozens of expansions, immersion packs, as well as new unit cards, unit arts and portrait, plus all future updates, basically all of this. So basically, EU4 players, new players, they just need to purchase the base game for 50 euros, and then just 8 euros for 1 month, or 15 per 3 months, and they got all of this, which means that EU4 players, or let's say new players, they don't need to pay not even 100 euros. Hell, they don't need even to pay 60 euros, because 50 plus 8, that's 58. They don't need even to pay 60 euros, which means that this and this is cheaper than Warhammer 3 or Warhammer 1 or Rome 2. It's basically cheaper. I think you all understand here that new players, if they want full EU4 experience, they don't need to purchase all of this. They just need to purchase subscription for 1 month, plus with the basic plus with the base game, and that's all. That's together 58 euros. Not even 60. Not even 60. I think you all can see the problem with Total War Warhammer. Again, Total War Warhammer is not the problem. Is not the problem that it is fantasy and not historical. Okay, sure, some people might complain that it is fantasy. It is not Total War in their eyes, but in my opinion, Total War Warhammer is part of Total War franchise. Whether you can agree with me on this or not. It is part of the franchise. The problem with Total War Warhammer games is that they are too expensive. You wanna have a full experience, pay pay 500 euros for free games plus all of the DLCs. And if there is a summer sale, still it is more than 100, which is still a lot of money. Still a lot. I think the answer to this solution is this one: subscription. I want from CA to introduce, I want from CA to give us subscription option. So, okay, I think people, um, I think people will not have a problem to purchase Warhammer free for 60 euros, okay? Sure. Purchase, sure. Let's buy Warhammer free for 60 euros. But then give us subscription option so that Warhammer free players are not forced um to purchase all of those DLCs. Just give us subscription options. I don't know. Let's give a subscription just like EU4, so that you will pay 8 euros per month. So that new players are not forced to buy all of those DLCs. Warhammer 3, Warhammer 2, and of course Warhammer 1 DLCs. Just give us subscription option where there will be 8 euros per month for new players. I think that will be reasonable. And of course, when it comes to Warhammer 1 and Warhammer 2, I don't believe that those two games should cost 60 euros each. I believe that Warhammer 1 should cost, I don't know, 30 euros, and Warhammer 2 should cost, I don't know, 40. I think that's the solution to all of this problem. Okay? Let Warhammer 3 be 60 euros. Make Warhammer 1 cheaper so that new players could pay 30 instead of 60. Make Warhammer 2 cheaper so that they can purchase Warhammer 2 for 40 instead of 60. And introduce subscription option so the new players are not forced to buy all those DLCs for more than 300 euros. Or dollars or pounds. You get it. Because let's be honest, paying 500 euros for all the DLCs plus all free games, that's a lot of money. That's not good for new players. For new players, this is bad thing. This is really bad business from the CA. That's what I believe. For even look at CK2. CK2, for example, is free to play. This is even better because CK2 is free to play, and new players are not forced to pay all of this. They just pay this one subscription for 30 days with only 5 euros. Basically, with CK2, players are paying only 5 euros because the game is free to play, and all those expansions and DLCs are here in this subscription option for 5 euros. Give us Warhammer 1 for free. I think this would be even better. If Warhammer 3 was 60 euros, Warhammer 2 was 40, and make, I don't know, Warhammer 1 free to play. Even better. make Warhammer 1, free to download, from Steam, and make Warhammer 2 cheaper from 60 euros to, let's say, 40 or 30. Let to Warhammer free on 60 euros and introduce subscription for new players. So the new players are not forced to pay 320 euros. Of course, I'm not saying that your subscription should be 5 euros. Give it, I don't know, 8 euros or 10 euros. Okay. Hey, heck, even 10 euros subscription will be better than paying more than 300 euros for all the DLCs for all three Warhammer games. It's so simple. It's so simple. There are many things how to improve all of this, because I'm telling you, if new players are seeing all those prices, paying more than the 180 euros for free games, plus all those monies for all those DLCs. Let's be honest, new players will be like, heck no, I'm not paying all of this. That's the thing. But on the contrary, when you CA give them this option like subscription, 8 euros per month, that will be suddenly be different. If you lower the price of Warhammer 2 to 40 and make Warhammer 1 even free to download, free to play, free to download on Steam, that will be even better. This will be even better than what we have right now. Again, Warhammer games are great. I really enjoy Total War Warhammer, but I think everyone will agree that it is too expensive for new players. Make it cheaper. Make it more available for new players. Because I'm telling you this. If you introduce all those things which I mentioned here in this video to new players, Total War Warhammer 3 will get much more players than it has right now. That's right, it will get much more of those players. So the number of players will then drastically increase, which means that more people will be buying Warhammer 3. And plus, a lot of people will be paying for this subscription, which means that, there will be more people playing Warhammer 3 than it is right now. Even more. So, what I'm saying here that those changes which I am proposing here will drastically improve Warhammer games, Total War Warhammer. Sure, introduce new DLCs, why not? No problem with this. But give new players options to not buy all of these. Just give them a subscription. Give them a subscription option so that, 8 euros per month or 10 euros. Even 10 euros is better than paying all of this. Give new players Warhammer 1 free. And give new players Warhammer 2 cheaper. And let, of course, Warhammer 3 on 60 euros. I think this will be the best strategy how to improve Warhammer. Do you want, do you want to attract new players? Give them those options. If you will not give them those options, then you will not attract new players. New players will simply not come. Hell, heck, let's be honest, new players will go to CK2 and playing this game for free and paying only €5 per month, per month subscription for all those DLCs and expansions for CK2. That's what new players will do. And new players who will not purchase, new players who will not spend €500 for all free games plus all those DLCs. And even during summer sales, it will still cost them more than 100. New players will, simply not come. You need to give them something so that, you can attract them. So that all those new players could come here, play Warhammer free, play Warhammer free, which will be better. Guys, what I fear the most, that if CA will make, I don't know, Medieval free or Total War Warhammer 40k, I believe that it will be even more expensive than Warhammer free. I fear that 40k game, Warhammer 40k or Medieval free would cost not €60 but 80. That's right, 80. Soon 100. That's problem. That's big problem which we need to talk about. Anyway, this is the end of this video. I hope, guys, that I gave you reasons to talk about this issue with Total War Warhammer. The issue is not Total War Warhammer itself, like some people would like to tell you, but the issue is the prices. That those free games are too expensive with all those DLCs. Meanwhile, some other games like CK2 or EU4 are doing it completely different. CK2 is free to play. So I hope, guys, that with this video I gave you reasons to put pressure on CA to change it, to introduce subscription options, to lower the prices of Warhammer 2 and maybe even make Warhammer 1 free to play and introduce subscription. I hope that I gave you the reason, okay, with this video. So anyway, this is the end. I hope that you like this video. If you wanna see more content, of course, please subscribe, leave a comment, and click on like button. And we will see in the next video. See you later and have a nice day.